And now we go from Puerto Rico, Spanish language, to a Colombian-American filmmaker, born and raised in New York, Queens to be specific, and it's Adrian Manzano with his feature film, his first one, Sex, Love, and Salsa.
Look, you're dancing all wrong.
You're gonna tell me how to dance salsa?
Yeah. Where'd you learn how to dance?
My mommy taught me.
Oh, that's cute.
I want to perform, like what you just described.
You want to perform?
Yes.
Salsa?
Yes.
Enjoy your time now with the girls that you bring, because it's not going to be forever. There will come a time when one woman may choke you into a life.
We have a really good connection. I'm really comfortable with you. I'd like to have a baby with my best friend.
WTF, we've been dating for like 2 months. And where I'm from, that's serious. That's like boyfriend-girlfriend serious. Oscar, he's my boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
Yeah.
This guy?
Yes.
I'm making like a little documentary about my dating life.
Excuse me, you're gonna do rated X movies with this camera in my house? Excuse me?
As much fun as I'm having, I don't want him to think that he's getting lucky tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm getting lucky tonight.
As I say, Sex, Love, and Salsa. Is there anything else? Now, did you have any problems with that name? Meet any resistance, or was it more of an allure?
I think it was definitely an allure, and we did have some resistance in the Midwest, where people tend to be a little more Christian. There were some reservations about showing the film, but no, I think the title definitely hits you on the head, lets you know this is, it's a good, fun, sexy movie about love and salsa. So.
Today's theme, actors turned producers, director. And what I find interesting about you, because I consider you an actor and a good one, as I also consider you a good filmmaker, but I see you cringing sometimes when you're labeled actor, even though you played the male lead in this film. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious, where's that coming from?
Well, I've always done a lot of theater through high school and college, and I've never really trained, but I just have years of doing it. And I've always considered it sort of a hobby, whereas writing and acting, legal writing and filmmaking has been more of my main focus. But when it came down to making this film, I found that I had to act in it because the actor that I had wanted to cast originally was in Los Angeles, and there was no funding to sort of ship him over, so it made things a lot cheaper for me to act in it. And luckily I had the experience, so.
And how did being a literature major in college shape you as both an actor and a screenwriter and director?
Well, literature has always been one of my loves. I've loved reading since I was very young. So definitely the works of Shakespeare, a lot of Russian literature has always been an influence on my work, on my writing. I tend to write sort of more tragic heroes, anti-heroes, and that's kind of something you see more in literature than you do in cinema. So same thing with this character. He's an anti-hero. He's a womanizer. He doesn't really he sort of gets what's coming to him in the end. So.
And when did you decide to take that plunge from the acting that you were doing in your senior year in high school, that you were doing in college, to like, no, what I really want to focus on is filmmaking?
I've always been doing filmmaking since I was very young as well. It's just something I've always been passionate about as well. After college, I did some theater in New York, especially Latino theater, but I decided that it wasn't really the right path for me. I didn't really feel passionate about the career of acting, even though I did enjoy it, and I think maybe I had a sort of talent for it, but it wasn't really what I was passionate about, which was filmmaking. So I pretty much decided to just focus on filmmaking and now focus mostly on writing as well. So,
You wrote the script, you directed the film.
yeah.
Did you, from the onset, make yourself the lead actor?
No, no, not at all. I knew I would produce it and direct it from the beginning, but I didn't think I would be the lead actor. I had somebody in mind in Los Angeles who was a reality show actor, and he wanted to do it. We were all ready to go, but there was no money. And my producer was like, well, why don't you act in it? It's a very personal story. It's kind of based on you. Might as well just do it. And unfortunately, I listened to her. And, but it did make things a lot easier because it was a long, very difficult shoot. And by acting in it and writing and being the director, I was able to really discover different moments, different depth in the character that I had not planned on. And because I was the actor, the director, I was able to sort of improvise and change, rewrite scenes in the moment. So I think it was better that way.
What I also find ironic, if not funny, is that the lead in the film, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a Latino player who dances his way into three women's hearts at the same time, and he gets his comeuppance at the end.
Yeah.
And so so you obviously, it was a personal story to a certain extent, but here, did it backfire on you when you ended up being the actor in the film where you were really this bad guy?
Yeah, it was very tough because I had written sort of this anti-hero, you know, based on some really embarrassing and terrible experiences of my dating life in New York. And now I had to actually act it out, you know, sort of reenact stuff that had happened to me. And then I also had to do the sex scenes, and you know, I'm not in the greatest of shape, but it worked out. But yeah, it was quite challenging to sort of recreate this anti-hero, this mujeriego, this character, and I kind of had to re-examine the character, the archetype, as well as examine myself as well, and it was quite an experience. Yeah.
If you could do this film again, what would you do differently in the process?
What would I do?
In either pre-production, production, or in post, or marketing and distribution?
Well, definitely the distributing the publicity of a film is very tricky. I didn't have a publicist. I didn't have any money to make this movie. We made it for about $7,000.
Wow.
So it was very low budget.
Robert Rodriguez made El Mariachi for $2,000.
No, he made it for $7,000 actually.
Did he really make it $7,000?
Yeah.
Very good.
So I felt kind of proud that I kind of hit the same, I hit the same mark as
And
Mariachi.
he's got a TV channel today. Come on, we need you there.
One day, yeah. I'll be there. But the publicity, the distribution of film nowadays is so difficult, and you really need to have the right publicists and the right people because it can be very challenging. But we did pretty well. We got some awards at film festivals. We got the Audience Award at the Harlem Film Festival. We got Best Feature Film at Real Independent Film Extravaganza. We got into the Chicago Latino Film Festival. And now we're going to Guadalajara Film Market next week. So wonderful. The film did quite well. Yeah.
Now, you also adopted a mockumentary approach to the film. Why?
Really to save money. I knew that I wasn't going to have the right budget to sort of do lighting and to have everything perfect, so I saw Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity, and I thought, well, I can sort of take that same aesthetic and bring it to a romantic comedy, which hadn't been done before. So that allowed us to be very flexible when it came to lighting, and we didn't use any lighting. We shot in nightclubs that were people...
Guerrilla style.
Guerrilla style. These nightclubs were live, people were dancing, and we're like with a little DSLR
and when
camera.
we say guerrilla style, that's without permission, the club owners didn't know.
Nobody knew.
What we call paracata.
Yeah, just running and gunning, just totally shooting without any permission. And one time we got kicked out of a club because they found out we were shooting.
Wow.
So we went to another club that was a few blocks away and finished the scene. You know, you gotta make it happen. You know, yeah.
As a director who was an actor, how was it casting the other, especially the actresses, the three lead actresses who you were so mean to?
Yeah, right. Or mean to me too. It was actually really, I spent a lot of time with the casting. I knew that this film was very character driven, and it was really important that I got the best actors that I can get who were willing to work for free. So I went to different theater productions that were happening around the city, like In the Heights that was happening on Broadway. And that's how I got the dancer, Gabby Ruiz. Plátanos and Collard Greens, which is an off-Broadway show. I got an actress from that show. And then also through networking through Nalit, through J.W. Cortez, I was able to get my other lead, which was Susan Quinn. And the way I looked at it was these actors were vetted. I didn't want to do the cattle call approach where you bring in people and have them read. I wanted to get actors who were professional, who were serious, and that's luckily what I got with these three actresses. They were phenomenal.
What also impressed me was, you know, it being a film set in New York, especially in Queens, yay, Queens, was that you did a very nice cross-section of also the women's races. You had a Caucasian woman, a white woman, Anglo. You had a woman of Afro-Latin extraction, and you had a woman from Spain.
Yeah.
So was that concerted? Was that just because those were the best that you found at the time?
No, that was on purpose. You know, I grew up in Queens, so in Queens we have a wide variety of different ethnicities and cultures, so I wanted to really reflect that in my work. And diversity for me is really important, and I want to make sure that I try to represent people who are not represented, especially Latinos and Afro-Latinas and Asian Americans as well. So.
Great, and someone threw it there with the title being Sex, Love, and Salsa. Someone asked, do you feel that you're reinforcing any stereotypes about Latinos, especially the Latino male that you play through the film?
I think stereotypes are definitely, they're there. And when you're dealing with a comedy, sometimes you have to sort of rely on them a little bit. But I feel with the mujeriego stereotype, I definitely examined it. I sort of examined why I was a mujeriego and why my father was a mujeriego for many years. And I really wanted to crack it open and really see what is it about, you know, our culture that makes this happen. And in the end, he definitely learns his lesson. And that was also an important part of the story as well, that the mujeriego aprenda, that he learns. So.
And I want to end with you with, you know, you were very frank with me. You got some great reviews. Not only did you get awards, you got some great reviews, but you also shared with me that you welcomed the bad reviews that you did get. And normally that hurts, and, you know, and we don't like it. So give me your philosophy as to why you embraced bad reviews.
Well, from what I've noticed is that if people take the time to criticize your work and to really break it down, means that there's something there to examine. I've noticed when something is so bad, it doesn't get any bad reviews. People just say good job and look away. So the fact that I got good reviews and I got some good criticism made me I felt proud with the fact that I had something that was worth reviewing, that something that was worth examining and criticizing. So I'm okay with it, it's fine. I noticed that the film really does well with a certain demographic, which is Latina women in general. They tend to really love the film. And
because you get your comeuppance at the end.
Exactly.
Justicia!
Exactly, yeah. they can relate.
And last but not least, what's next?
Next, I have a film I want to do in Dominican Republic. It's about a male prostitute that works at the resort. And it's sort of examining sort of the sexual tourism industry that exists in the Caribbean. And then also I have something I want to do here in New York, a feature as well, about a girl who graduates from college and can't find a job, has to move back with her crazy, kooky Latino grandmother. And that I want to shoot in June. So yeah, I'm doing those two features next.
Well, I hope you do accomplish them soon.
Thank you.
Éxito and lots of success.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into Prime Latino Media Salon. It's a collective of Latino multimedia makers and actors in the Metro New York area, but we're national in scope. And basically, the underlying theme is that we need to stick together. It's not just about networking, but we need to form community, because that's the only way we're going to overcome the two biggest problems we have as Latino filmmakers is funding and distribution. And as Prime Latino Media people, this is how we're going to overcome that. So thank you for tuning in to today's program, and we look forward to seeing you again. Muchas gracias. Buenas noches.